Welcome back. Now 12 days away from Election Day, and the presidential race is not the only one to watch. Key Senate races in battleground states could decide who controls the upper chamber. In Pennsylvania, for one, Democrat incumbent Senator Bob Casey is leading challenger Dave McCormick by 4 points. But the Cook Political Report is now calling this race a toss-up. In Wisconsin, Democrat incumbent Senator Tammy Baldwin holds just a 1-point lead on challenger Eric Hovde, who will be joining me in the next hour. Stay with us for that interview. In Ohio, Democrat incumbent Senator Sherrod Brown leads challenger Bernie Moreno by just 1 point. And in Michigan, Democrat Congresswoman Elisa Slotnick leads Republican Mike Rogers by 8 points. In Montana, incumbent Democrat Senator John Tester trailing Republican challenger Tim Sheehy by 8 points. Political action committees have spent nearly $140 million so far in Montana, with a total of $225 million spent on the race overall. Joining me now is Montana Senator Steve Daines. He's the National Republican Senatorial Committee Chairman. He's also a member of the Senate Finance, Banking, and Energy Committee. Senator, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Give us your take on what this race looks like for the Senate seats across the board with so many tight races. How do you see it?
Yeah, well, I remember when I first was elected to this leadership position nearly 2 years ago, I met with President Trump, and I told him the most important thing we can give you is a Republican majority in the United States Senate, because we, of course, are in charge of all the personnel issues, all of his cabinet appointments, Supreme Court. These go right through the U.S. Senate. Look, we like where we're at right now on the map. We're going to win West Virginia. That's one. That takes us to 50-50. We need to win 2 seats overall to get the outright majority. As you mentioned, in Montana, Tim Sheehy continues to run very strong. We've not seen a poll with him behind since early August. He consistently is running 5 to 8 points ahead in Montana. He's going to finish strong. We like where we're at right now in Montana. You mentioned Ohio. This is a state that President Trump will win by about 10 points. Bernie Moreno, in the latest polls in this past week, we are now showing leads with Bernie Moreno between 1 and 3 points. He likely wins by probably 4 or 5 points based on what J.D. Vance did back in 22, and again with Trump winning by about 10. And then you mentioned that, the blue wall, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Our latest polls in those states show every one of those races as tied. We're tied in Michigan.
Wow.
We're tied in Wisconsin. We've actually seen Hovde up 1. We've seen Rogers actually up 1 in a different poll. And Dave McCormick is surging. We've seen 2 polls now with Dave McCormick up about 1, even 2 points in Pennsylvania. So these are all toss-ups. Cook Political, a prognosticator that's respected by both sides, show all 3 of these states right now as toss-ups for the U.S. Senate. And then go out to the Sun Belt, Nevada and Arizona. Both of those states, you've got Kari Lake in Arizona, you've got Sam Brown in Nevada. In both of those states, the polling numbers now are within the margin and moving in our direction. In Nevada, the latest early voting numbers that we're watching very carefully are showing unprecedented early voting by Republicans.
Well, I was surprised that Kari Lake wasn't doing better. I mean, if immigration is the biggest issue, you would think that people in Arizona would be behind her more, but they're not. It's very tight there. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think that's a resource issue, and that's what we're fighting hard to make sure Kari Lake has the resources she needs to finish strong. We've seen that in all of our races. We've started out behind in virtually every one of these races. What's happening is our Senate Republican candidates are now starting to track very close with the presidential ballot. We're running very close with President Trump's numbers. As President Trump continues to strengthen his numbers, he likely wins Arizona by maybe 2, 3, 4, even 5 points. With that being the case, I think you're going to see Kari Lake's numbers starting to tighten up significantly.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you about the presidential race and how do you feel about that? Because Kamala Harris will be campaigning in Houston tomorrow with Congressman Colin Allred. He's challenging Ted Cruz's Senate seat. Democrats say that Cruz's seat is their best pickup opportunity this cycle, but recent polls show that Cruz has a tight lead. Democrats pumping money into that race. A Chuck Schumer super PAC spent millions on new ads in an attempt to boost Allred and send Ted Cruz packing, Senator. How do you view that one?
Well, first of all, Chuck Schumer sees his Senate majority slipping away as we see our leads in places like West Virginia, Montana, Ohio. So he has to create a narrative of how he can keep the majority. And one of those is to state he can beat Ted Cruz in Texas. Look, Ted's running a great race in Texas. We're keeping a close eye on that race. But we see Ted Cruz with a lead at this moment. He's tracking closely with President Trump's numbers. Ted is going to win Texas. We just have to continue to support him with the resources he needs. He's running a great race. The folks in Texas are going to reelect Ted Cruz.
Well, look, Texas is suing the Biden-Harris administration for not confirming the citizenship status of more than 450,000 potential ineligible voters. Ken Paxton is suing the administration. He says the voters in question did not use a Texas-issued driver's license or ID card to register to vote. The Department of Homeland Security says it will not comment on pending litigation. Senator, I know you joined a group of more than 70 Republican lawmakers sending a letter to AG Merrick Garland asking about the department's efforts to prevent illegal citizens from voting. But look, we know that, where the DOJ is on this. They want to ban voter ID. They're suing Virginia and Alabama.